Okay.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So we had the bris yesterday with the twins.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, both of them.
Yeah.
So they have one breast, then they have the Siddha, then they have the other breast?
They were like one after the other, yeah. The same day.
And the Suda is after both of them, or they had the Suda in between?
They had the main to the between after.
After
But
both?
yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. Mazel tov. What are the names?
Eliyahu Chaim and Binyamin Zahav.
Who's Eliyahu Chaim, by the way?
Eliyahu was Beidelman that passed away. Eliyahu Chaim. And Binyamin Zahav. Binyamin is my grandfather and Zahav is my mother.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Eli Laufer's name is Eliyahu Chaim.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Today we're going to start Mazel tov. Today we're going to start at the Mishnah on Chaf Amud Beis. There's two Mishnahs here. We'll start with the first one. Yeah. 20B. Thank Hashem that they're able to learn Torah every day. It's about learning English immediately. I'm sorry. No, yeah, it's in the wrong place.
Usually it's like that.
Yeah. That's just quoting the Mishnah. That's just quoting the Mishnah. Yeah, go to the. Yeah. Yeah, you want to start from here. We're going to start from this Mishnah. Okay. So we're learning, we showed the basic English immediately. We're learning the Nishmas Abdul the Basra Yaman and that's Binyamin. And
Tunnels Ben
and also for first time out from David Ben Sarah and Getzel Eliezer. And Pegatzi Per. Okay. In the Mishnah says Liyamad Adam Tana B'Tei Chabayas Adam Ken Yeshal Gab of Geva Arbamas is like a fire what do they call the laws? Not the zoning. They have like fire code. This is the fire code that if you're going to have an oven on the second floor, I'm not on the second floor. I'm sorry. If you're going to have an oven in a house, you have to have 10. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to have 4 amas above it, so that it doesn't catch the roof doesn't catch on fire. And Hayam Amid Baliyah, if you're doing it on the second floor, it's actually a tacht of maziv shleisha tvachim of b'kira tefach. Then you need to have underneath it. You need to have a plaster on the floor that's 3 tvachim thick, so that the floor underneath the oven doesn't get ruined because you're on the second floor. However, if it's a smaller oven, which was like a stovetop, then it's only 1 tefach for the plaster. It doesn't get as hot. It doesn't tell me how much above the kira I need. Probably 4 tvachim as well. 4 amas above, 3 tvachim below. Bim hizik, let's say it causes damage anyway, even though you took all the precautions and you did it. It was up to the fire code. Nevertheless, mishalim mashizik, you have to pay for the damages. So the code is there just if you're allowed to do it. But if it causes damage, then you have to pay for that as well. Reb Shimon says, no, Reb Shimon says, the reason why we gave you this measurements, why we made the code, is that if it does cause damage, you should be exempt and you shouldn't have to pay for those damages. So you follow the code, then you're exempt. That insurance pays for it. Not the guy, yeah. according to halacha, it's possible that you can claim from both, right? You can claim from the insurance and you can claim from the person, right? Claim from insurance has nothing to do with it. You damaged me, you have to pay me. I have insurance. Okay, that's my own personal thing. That has nothing to do with you. We said that we had this quoted before. We said that if there's a person that has a storage area that he's storing either grain or wine or oil, so the person underneath him is not allowed to open a bakery or a paint shop or a dyer's shop, because it's going to ruin the grain or the wine or the oil that he has there. The Gemara says, and the same applies. He can't have his stable under it. It's also going to ruin the smell. It's going to ruin what's above it. BMS, however, in truth, as BMS Amru maybe, that with wine, if he's storing wine, then they're allowed to you can have a bakery or the paint under it, but you still can't do the stable under it. Yeah, you wanted to say something?
We learned before that a person did a deviation, but then something happened, but it wasn't because of that deviation. Different opinions of who was responsible now. So maybe here, if the person deviated from fire laws, but something happened.
If he deviates from the fire code, then for sure he's chayav. What about if he kept the code?
Even if the damage happened, not due to his deviation.
Are you saying that has to do with philosophy of sefer baina? So we said it began with some negligence, but what happened was a unpreventable circumstance. That's something else. That was a machlekes. But so whatever it is, how did the damage happen? Right? Yeah. You're asking, and we have that machlekes tchilas b'shev sefer bainas. Does that apply? That machlekes is when there's a shomer. Shomer, there's a guardian. He's supposed to be, not supposed to be negligent. Here you're telling me that the fact is he's doing one thing wrong. What he did wrong has nothing to do with the damages. I don't know if it has anything to do with that case. Yeah.
Your insurance is just going to say that you did something wrong and not pay.
Right. Someone's driving without a license. Someone hits him. Is he going to be able to collect from the guy that hit him? They're going to say that no, he's driving without a license. You're finished.
Did he leave his license at home, or he just never had it?
He didn't have one.
Oh, you could still sue the person.
Okay.
For causing the damage.
Okay. He's doing something wrong. Okay. Okay. Well, Tanya, it was taught in a brisa the following. We have a problem over here because we said that the plaster underneath an oven on the second floor needs to be 3 tefachim thick if it's an oven, and if it's a stove, it needs to be 1 tefach. Well, the problem is we have a brisa that says betanar it's arba, it's 4 tefachim. Someone said, where did you get 4 tefachim? The Mishnah only said 3. Bekira shleisha, and if it's a stovetop, it needs to be 3. We said if it's a stovetop, it needs to be 1. Amar Abaya comes to the answer, kitani b'denach tumim. Talking about a baker's oven, it's much hotter than a regular oven. And the Tana di Dan kikira denachtumim. Our ovens, regular homeowner's oven, is like a baker's kira. It's like a baker's stovetop. So therefore, a baker's stove is 3 tvachim. Our oven is also 3 tvachim. Our kira is even less than that. It's only going to be 1 tefah. So the way we answer a contradiction, either we say it's a machlekes or we say that the scenario is different. Here we're answering that the scenario is different. It's not a contradiction. It's not a machlekes. It's a different type of oven. You can't open a store, which is, what do we mean a store? The bakery. You can't open the bakery under storage. Tana says like this. Let's say the stable or the barn was before the storage. The guy, someone upstairs wants to make a storage. So he tells the guy with the barn downstairs, he says, you got to get rid of it because I'm making a storage. The guy says, no, I was here first. My barn was here first. Don't make a storage here. So Baya is a question. Question is, when do we consider it that the storage was there first? So it says like this: Kibid Rifitz Leitzerma. Let's say the guy's preparing the upstairs to be an Eitzer, to be a storage area. How does he prepare it? Well, he starts sweeping and he washes the floor. He's getting ready to make the storage. Right when he's getting ready, the guy downstairs says, oh, he brings his animals in. He says, okay, now I have a barn. So is it considered that the storage was there first because he already cleaned it out? Or do we say that no, he didn't start storing there yet? And there's a big difference here. Who's first? Let's say he opened up windows. Now, apparently, according to Rashi, when you open windows, that's so the grain doesn't spoil. So there's some ventilation. That's the way he's preparing for the storage. What's the din? He made windows there in this area in the second floor, and the barn downstairs comes after he makes the windows, but not after he comes before he brings in the grain. Okay, the Bach takes that out. The next case is Banali al Gabi Besimao. Let's say he builds a second story on top of the house just for the storage, but he never made the storage yet. He just built it. Do we say that maybe making windows isn't enough, but maybe if you build the entire thing, started from scratch, and now you come along and make your barn, maybe that's not fair. The guy who had all these plans in place. So the Gemara answers this. It doesn't answer. It leaves it as a teku. Leaves it as a question. Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua. Rav Huna Breder Rav Yeshua has a question. Tamri reminding my. Let's say you bring in dates and pomegranates. Really, a storage is normally grain, wine, and oil. But over here, is this considered a storage as well? Okay, teku, it leaves it as a question. The MSBI here, they said that with wine, they were more lenient, and they said that you're allowed to have a bakery under the wine place. And that's not a problem. Here, there's the fish store has wine. They sell wine in the fish store, like crudo. There's different combinations. They sell wine in the Svarim store, right? In Spaklaya. They sell wine in the fish store.
So interesting note here that when Gemara says teku, there's an opinion that when Elijah returns, he will pass.
Yeah. Teku is actually teku. The Aramaic word teku means let it stand, but teku is also Rosh Tevis. Tishbi Yitaretz Kushis Ve'bayis. And Tishbi, which is Eliyahu Tishbi. Eliyahu from the Tishbi. He'll answer all the questions.
Is this exception for the wine is because the wine is sealed?
I don't think it's because it's sealed. I think apparently whatever is going on, the smell or is not. You'll see in a second. There's because it actually makes the wine better. The bakery smell makes the wine better. Amar Rav Yosef Haididan says our wine is a little different. Even the smoke that comes from the candle is not good for the wine. Try to drink the wine after you pour it on the Havdalah candle. See how it tastes. So Amar Rav Sheishes, he says we said that you can't have the barn underneath the wine. He says, and if you're putting a spasta is this fodder. like hay or straw underneath the that's also begins to smell, and that would also affect the wine. Okay. Next Mishnah is a very popular Mishnah. Two reasons. First of all, it mentions about schools. There's always arguments about that, opening up schools, and when there's another school already. And the other thing is opening up a business when someone else has a business to buy. There's a lot of din tayros about this competing competition. A lot of din tayros, restaurants opening up and stores, and it's very, very popular in the business, these cases. Someone opens a store in his courtyard. The neighbors can protest, and they can say to him, we can't have this store here. This is a residential area, and too much noise from the people walking in and walking out. It's not just the noise. It's too much traffic. You don't want the traffic there. It's an invasion of your privacy. You have a small courtyard, and then all of a sudden, everyone's walking in and looking at you doing the laundry there. So, but one of the claims here is that there's a noise issue. So he said there's a noise. That's how the commentators say. A person's allowed to make. He's not allowed to have his workshop in the courtyard, and then and he goes and sells it somewhere else. They can't protest against him and to say, can't say that I can't handle the noise. You're banging your hammer. The mill is making so much noise. It's too much noise for me. Also can't say that the children are making too much noise. Let's see what that means in the Gemara. Sometimes you have a neighbor that plays the drums, and it's a big problem, especially if especially if you have a night job and you come home and you want to go to sleep during the day. If it's during the day, if he's playing the drums at night, you can probably stop him. You can probably get call the police or whatever. Say it's way too loud. But during the day, you can't really stop someone from playing the drums. So, okay. It's his house. He's allowed to do whatever. Oh, you have a rooster? I thought you didn't have a rooster. Oh. Uh-huh. Really? Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have that issue.
So does that affect the sleep and the people complain?
But if you wake up at 3, 4 in the morning,
Uh-huh. Does he need permission to shechta, or you're just gonna go and shech? Okay. Maishna Reisha, Maishna Seifa. There's different explanations here, but in the Reisha we said that you can protest if someone's coming in. In the Seifa we say that you can't protest from the noise of the children, which sounds like the children coming into the store is not, you can't stop them, but you can protest the noise. So what's going on? Why to the children, when they come into the store, you can't protest? And the noise from everyone else, you can. Amar Abaya, Seifa Asan L'Chasar Acheres. The Seifa that says that you can't protest the noise of the children, that's because that noise is coming from the next courtyard. You can't protest if someone's doing it in their courtyard. So only protest if they're doing it in your courtyard. The noise is traveling over, then that you can't protest. Amalei Rava says that's not what the Mishnah said. If that's the case, why does the Mishnah just say that if it's another courtyard, then it's permissible? Why do you have to switch it to say kolatinoikas? The difference of its children. Rather Rava says Seifa asan latinoikas shall be sraban. The second part of the Mishnah where it says that you can't complain about the noise that's coming from the children is talking about a school. If someone opens a school in his courtyard. So, second.
Or even better would be if you change.
Okay. Say fast on the next shall be Shrab, and it's talking about it. I mean, Takanas Rabbi Yeshua ben Gamla Beilach. And hear the story over here about Yeshua ben Gamla. Not the story. Yeshua ben Gamla was a kind gadol, but Naftali, are you telling me something? Okay. Yeah, I was in a show where the table that I would sit at had these people that would talk. Anyway, one time my kids came with their friend and they sat down and I don't know, they were inspired. They started davening, like they were saying every word. There's like 6-year-olds and they're like saying the words out loud. The guys that were talking was like, "What are you bringing here? I can't even ruining our conversation." Not allowed to daven here. This is a place where we talk. Okay. So we're talking about a school, opening a school in a courtyard, and we're talking about it's from the time of Yeshua ben Gamla Vela. Tomarav Yehuda Amarav. Rav Yehuda says the name of Rav Baram. What does Baram mean? However, in truth, probably. You have to remember this person, following person. You have to remember him for good. Yeshua ben Gamla Shema. His name is Yeshua ben Gamla. You know the school Ben Gamla. It's named after him. Yeshua ben Gamla. Why is it named after him? Shalmalihu. If not for him, the Torah would have been forgotten from the Jewish people. Why? Why is he so significant? There was another story with him that he became a kain gadol because his wife, Martha Baspaitis, remember Martha? She was the one that died when she stepped in she stepped in a fig. That was Tzaddik had sucked on. She was a very wealthy woman that was very like finicky. And anyway, she paid Yanei HaMelech to make her husband into the kain gadol. The sages were not happy with that. But that it doesn't have anything to do with him. That's just how he got the job. That's some background. But what he himself, what he did, that's Zachar says that we remember him for good. Why? Originally, someone had a father, so the father would teach him Torah. Mishain Layav. If he didn't have a father, then then he wouldn't learn Torah. My Jewish, where'd they get this from? That if someone has a father, the father teaches him. If not, then no one teaches him. It says that you should teach them. It means that you should teach them. Aisam means them. The tem means you, but it doubles the you. It says if you switch it, atem, that means you teach. You teach. You teach. It means only the father. Only the father would teach. Yeah, I heard. Forgot her name. Rabbi Teitz from Elizabeth. He had a daughter. Forgot her name. She was a professor, and anyway, she's talking about if women study Torah. She said, of course, women always study Torah. Just if your father was this or your father was that, then they studied Torah with you. But before Beis Yaakov, the girls, it was only if you had a father that was Talmud Chacham, he studied with you. So she was saying about that women always studied. It's not a new thing. It's just as you'll see in a second. Eskino, they instituted Shem Yeshiva Malamdi Tanek Yerushalayim. Said that we're going to have an actual school, not just a home school with you study with your father. We're going to have an actual school in Yerushalayim. My drush, where'd they get that from? It says Kimitzian Teitei Torah. It says from Tzion, which means Yerushalayim, the Torah goes out. Taisus points out that there was a great benefit to Yerushalayim because they would see the Koyanim, and they would have Yerushalayim, and they would see everything that's going on there. And that was very special, would assist in their learning. The problem is that someone that had a father was able to take him there. to the yeshiva. Someone that didn't have a father wasn't able to bring him to yeshiva. They instituted a new thing, that they're going to have yeshivas in every region. That way, it's not so far away. You can go to wherever it is, and they would bring the students in when they're 16 or 17. Well, it's a little bit old. That's high school, right?
And they were probably married already.
Misha Yerabi Kayasalov, if then by that time they're coming in to learn, they're already big people. If the teacher would get angry at them, then Mabit Babietzi, they would just kick and leave. Slam the door. I'm not staying here. What do I need this for? I can go get a job back, whatever. Achaba Yeshua ben Gamla, so Yeshua ben Gamla instituted Vatikan Shiyum Yeshiv Malamdi Tenex B'chol Medina B'chol every year. Not just in every region, but in every country and in every city. In every state, probably, in every city. And they would have teachers there. And they would bring them in. And if they're 6 or 7 years old, they would already bring them in. What is someone said? Non-Jewish source, I think, but they said, give me your children till 7, and I'll have them for life, or something like that. So basically, you train them when they're young, then they're going to be they'll be more accepting to it.
So, question: Yehoshua ben Gamla, he was the Kohen Gadol, so he controlled Jerusalem. But how did he have the power to make a takana for the whole?
It must have been. You see, what's happening here is that they're going to impose on the community that every community needs to make a collection, like they make a collection to have a mikveh. Then they said, okay, we have to make a collection for the yeshiva, for the cheder. And the community tax, there was a community tax. This must have been because he was part of the Sanhedrin or something like that.
Okay, that's what I was missing. Thank you.
The whole concept of Tinokos Beis Rabban, like, I don't even see, like, by Mordechai, he gathered the children to study.
Yeah.
It seemed much earlier.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that they had a steady school that they would do this. Mordechai gathered them. They had rallies, but here it looks like they're having a steady school, a real school that's going to go, like every day of the year.
What's Beis Rabban? Isn't that like a school? Tinokos Shel Beis Rabban.
Yeah, Tinokos Shel Beis Rabban. Well, I don't know at what stage they had the school in Yerushalayim. That doesn't give us the dates to that. It just says that Yeshua ben Gamla came and instituted in every place. It says Betchila was just the fathers. They didn't have schools. Then it was in Yerushalayim. Then it was in every region. But I don't have the dates to that.
I was interested in this and looked this up. And that book from Art Scroll on the Talmud, it says that he lived about 150 years preceding the Korban.
Really?
I think that made him contemporary with Shimon ben Shattuck, what it said.
The problem is that if his wife is Martha, I'm sorry, Martha Basbaitis. Martha Basbaitis. I thought she was by the Korban. I thought she was later.
He served in the second.
In the second base of Mikdash. Yeah. Well, when was Yanai? When was King Yanai?
Yeah.
Yanai was in the time of Shimon ben Shatta. So you're right. So how did Martha end up by the? How did she end up by the Korban? Who was the what was the name of the woman that struck the altar? Said Lucas. What was her name? Miriam Basbilga. That was Miriam Basbilga. She was at the end of the second base of English, right? I thought Martha was in the Gemara Gittin also at the Reb Tzadok was at the end of the Chorban. Okay, anyway, something's funny. Well, now we have yeshivas in every place and a cheder in every place, and they're coming in at age 6 or age 7. Why 6 or 7? Commentaries say it depends on their strength. If they're able to handle a full day of learning, then they would come in at 6. Otherwise, they have to wait another year till 7. Actually, 6 probably means 5 in their 6th year, right? And 7 probably means 6. Amalei Rav Rav Shmuel Bar Shelas. Rav says to Rav Shmuel Bar Shelas, who was a student of Rav, he was a teacher. He says, Ad Shis Leit Kabel. Don't accept any students under 6 years old. Bikan Ve'elach, but over 6, Kabel Vasel Lektur, then you accept them, and then you stuff them like an ox. They would force feed. That means you stuff them Torah, like without stop. Just keep giving them more and more to study. Loads of homework. Load them up with a lot of work. Amalei Rav Shmuel Bar Shelas. Rav says to Shmuel Bar Shelas, when you hit the children, you should hit them with the shoelace. You shouldn't hit them with something hard that's going to cause damage. The kari, those that are going to read, that's basically what they learn in the cheder, is to learn reading and the reciting, right? That's what they learn, just like to read. Kari, they'll read. The lay kari, those that don't learn to read, you can just let them sit there, and they'll be just part of the group, to be part of the friends. In other words, there's a concept of just having students in the school, even if they're not actually getting good grades. This will just be part of the group.
Says that his friends will encourage him.
Okay, now you're saying that his friends will encourage him to read. That's Rashi says, the Sefer Lassi slave. At the end, he'll read. At the end, yeah. I wonder if there's other interpretations that say even if not, it's just good for him to be there. Sefer Lassi slave. Okay, Amalei Rav. I'm sorry. Meisvei, the Gemara has a question. We said before, but what's our answer? We had a question. Why are you allowed to open a school in the courtyard? It's going to be too much traffic. You can't open a store. I said, no, it's from the Takana of Yeshua ben Gamla. And from Yeshua ben Gamla, there's an institution that you have to allow schools to open up. And there's no zoning laws when it comes to schools, basically, is what Yeshua ben Gamla instituted. Yeah. Yeah, tell this to the city. All the schools that are trying to get their buildings, we've been waiting already like 4 years. But anyway.
I've seen like daycares in the house.
Right.
In the city.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't allow it, but it starts small and there's nothing really they can do, and then whatever. Starts like babysitting. Meisvei, the Gemara has a question. 1 second, we have a huge problem. It says if someone from the alley or from the courtyard that wants to become either a doctor, which means that not a doctor in those days meant he was a mayal, an uman, professional, that means he's a bloodletter. That's more of the doctor than the doctor. A gardi is a weaver, and malamet tinaikas, if he wants to open a school, the people of the courtyard can stop him. We just said before they can't stop him. It says, we're talking about he's making a school that's not teaching Torah. It's a school for non-Jews. Making a school for non. So the money is. So that they can say, no, that's not an institution from Yeshua ben Gamla. Tashema. Two people in a courtyard, one of them wants to become a doctor or this or that, or open a school, a teacher. His friend can stop him. Same answer. That's over there. It's talking about he's opening a non-Jewish school. What do they teach over there? Well, those subjects.
They add the secular subjects to Jewish kids. It's not part of the decree.
Right. Is that in the note over there? And I'm sorry, in the Rashbam?
Rashba.
Rashba.
Yeah.
The Rashba, he's quoting, says that secular subjects to Jewish kids is not part of the decree. It was only Torah subjects, was Yeshua ben Gamla's institution. Yeah. Yeah, so the Ben Gamla school is named after the Torah, not the secular subjects. That has nothing to do with him. Yeah. Okay. Tashima Shleim, that we did. Okay. Tashima, Mishieshle bias b'chatzar shutzim. Someone has a house in a courtyard, partners. Reza Leyaskirina, Leila Refa, Leila Lumen, Leila Gardi, Leila Sefer, Leila Sefer Yehudi, Leila Sefer Aramite. Says that you're not allowed to rent out sub lease. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're the owner. You're not allowed to rent it out to someone that's a doctor, the mayal, or to a doctor, or to a weaver, or to a Sefer Yehudi. Now, a Sefer Yehudi could be two things. It could be a teacher, Jewish teacher. A Sefer Amai, not a non-Jewish teacher. Sefer could also mean a scribe, but it could also mean a teacher. So the Gemara says, 1 second. Here we have both a Jewish teacher and a non-Jewish teacher. And you're saying that you're not allowed. The Gemara answers, we're not talking about a teacher, we're talking about a scribe. The scribe is going to have people coming in, and to write documents, it's going to be too much traffic. Actually, Rashi doesn't learn like that. Rashi learns it different. Rashi learns that it's like a much larger school. Sefer Masa is a teacher for the whole school. Yeah. Where did I get this other pshat? Let me see where they here with the teacher of the town. He oversees the education of all the children of the town. Town's teachers are appointed by him, and under his supervision, he teaches them proper methodology. His work engenders an excessive amount of noise and may therefore be blocked, even according to Rava. So what is he? He's teaching teachers, and the teachers are making noise? Can't be. It must mean that it's a whole school, and he's overseeing the whole school. You are allowed to have a cheder, but not a whole school. Maybe there are zoning laws for the schools. Amar Rava. Yeah, I got the pshat. 1 second. One second. I got the pshat from Tosfos. He says Rabbeinu Chananel says Sefer Masa is he's writing documents.
And could it be that he's teaching the method and not Torah? The decree was only for Torah.
That's an interesting shot. Hillel's pshat is he's teaching the methodology, and the methodology is in Torah. Yeah, I'm not so fond of that pshat. I don't like it because why should them not being able to teach? Why is that? It's not directly Torah. I don't know. That's not what Rashi says. Rashi says that there's a lot of noise. There's he's saying even though it's Torah, there's a lot of noise. That's what Rashi's saying. Okay. Now the Gemara says, Amar Rava, mitakanas Yeshua ben Gamla veilach, leimamtinin yenukam mimasa lamasa. Once Yeshua ben Gamla made his institution that you don't take children from one city to another city because every city has to have its own teacher. Of a beiknish to a beiknish mamtinan, but you can bring them from one shul to another shul. The imapsik nara, but if there's a river between the two shuls, mamtinan, then you don't take them over the river. Tistura mamtinan, but if there's a bridge to get over it, then it's not a problem. Gamla, but if it's a bridge that's made by a plank, then mamtinan, then you don't take them over that. That sounds like it's not so safe. What is there some association with Yeshua ben Gamla and this bridge that's a Gamla? It's a plank. Maybe Gamla. Rashi says Luach Ketzar sounds like a blackboard. Maybe Yeshua ben Gamla means like a. He was this one that instituted the schools. Maybe he got the name Ben Gamla of like the schoolhouse of like the. It's not like, they say Ben Tyra doesn't mean his father's name is Tyra, right? So so Ben Gamla doesn't mean his father's name is Gamla. Maybe Ben Gamla meant that he was the one that instituted these boards. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Hire a teacher for one student. Other people say, other commentators say that 25 students.
1 second, we didn't do that yet. Rava says, what's the amount of how many students per teacher? Is 25 students. But if there's 50 students and my spin and tray, then you have to have 2 teachers. One teacher can't handle the 50 students. But if there's 40, so that's a little bit too much for one, and not enough for 2, then Makmin and Reish Duchna, they put up an assistant for the first teacher. Mimasa. What does it mean? And the city helps to hire that assistant. Rabba says, "Hi Mikri Yenuki the Garas v'Kachina the Garas Tfeimine le'Misalkinanle." Let's say you have 2 teachers. You have one teacher that's he teaches. He's a good teacher. You have another one that's a spectacular teacher. He teaches even better. You don't fire the first teacher because there's a better teacher. Dilmasilis Rashule, maybe if you hire the second teacher is going to be so proud that he's such an expert that he's going to stop doing a good job. He won't do such a good job. He's going to say, "Yeah, I'm the best anyway." He won't feel the need to do that. That's one shot. He won't be afraid of being fired. Rav Din min Ardai says, "Kolshkin the Garas Tvei. For sure, you should fire him because he's going to learn. The first one will learn even harder. The kinasei from Tarba Chachma, because there'll be jealousy, and jealousy is good when it comes to education. This sort of competition. Yeah. Rava says, "Hi, Trey Mikridadik. If you have 2 teachers, Chad Garas v'Leidaik. One of them learns quickly, but he's not so precise. Chad Daik v'Leigaras. One is very precise, but he doesn't learn quickly. He doesn't learn a lot. My Svina knew the Garas v'Leidaik. You institute the one that learns a lot, even though he's not so precise." Yeah. Shabeshta, what about all the mistakes that he's making? Memela Nafka, they learn a lot. It's going to go away. Don't worry about all the mistakes. Rav Din says, "No. No, you put the one that's very precise. It's very accurate. Shabeshta, the mistakes, even the all. Once mistakes enter, then they're stuck. Mistakes are going to be stuck. They'll never get out of those mistakes." The Ksiv, we have a pasuk like this. It says, "Kisheshes chadashim yashav sham Yoav v'chol Yisrael ad yichris kol zocher be'edin." Yoav sat for 6 months in that place. I forget where it was, and until he destroyed all of the males from Edom, which is Amalek. Yasala Kami to David, when he came in front of David to tell him what he did, that Yoav was David's general. Amalek, it says, "My time of Adatachi, why do you only kill the males, not the females?" Amalek, he said, "The Ksiv Timche Zachar Amalek." It says you should destroy the males of Amalek. Amalek va'anan Zecher. It doesn't say the males, it says Zecher. Zecher means the remembrance of Amalek. Amalek ano Zachar Akriyan. I was taught that it says males. It's a difference in the vowel, right? The Torah is written without vowels, so it depends how it was taught it. Also, Shaila the Rabbi, Yoav went to ask his teacher, "Amalei Hecha Krisen, how did you read it?" Amalei, okay, now here there's different versions. The Gemara doesn't have vowels either. Amalei, there's 2 versions here. One version says, "Amalei, he said Zachar." I said that it meant the males. Shakal Safsira Lemikle. He took a Safsir, like a sword or something. He wants to kill his teacher. Amalei Amai, what do you want? Why are you doing this to me? Amalei said, cursed is the one that doesn't do a good job. He does a trickery job when he's doing the work of God. Now, there's another pshat that Amalei Zecher says he's supposed to. He says he told him a remembrance. See, well, now he wants to kill him. He says, "Why are you killing me? I taught it correctly." He says, "Yeah, but you didn't make sure that I knew it. You just taught it. You didn't, but you didn't go over it. You didn't make sure. You didn't listen to me. You were just busy teaching. You know, you have to. The students have to read it back, see how they're doing. Right? We do that sometimes. Students have to read. Amalei Shavkelu Gavrat Lekambara. It's enough that I got the curse. Why do you have to kill me also? Amalei Ksiv Armeinei Chaber Midam. He says, cursed is the one that refrains his sword from blood. It means he should kill him. Ikadamri Katli. There's some say that he actually killed him. Ikadamri Lekatli, and there's some that say that he didn't kill him. Rava says Mikri Yanuka, the teacher. Shasla, someone that plants trees. Tapcha is a butcher. V'umna, and the bloodletter. Sefer Masa, and the scribe of the city. Kulam Kamusrim Va'imdim Nino. They're already been pre-warned. They make mistakes. You were warned already beforehand. You don't have to get an extra warning. Any mistake, anything that's irreversible is you're warned already. Yeah. Okay, let's stop by Amar Rav Huna. Well, maybe we could learn tonight. You want to learn tonight? The next sugya is the what's it called? The laws when you're opening up that store next to someone else. Yeah, there's like a word for that.
Unfair competition.
Yeah, maybe unfair
It's
competition.
about competition the next couple dafim.
Yeah. Okay, have a good day.
About some questions for that? One quick question.